Triple in. Shalom, shalom, fam.
Shalom. Let them roll in a little bit. Some time here.
Knew my sister's gonna show up for sure.
For sure. Good evening. Good evening. Shalom. So, today, happy Wednesday to all of you. I know how it is with this time of year, going out, being feeling surrounded by all the wickedness of Krampus and Saturnalia and so-called Christmas and Nimrod's birthday all swelled into one, and you feel like you're in a maze, like you're stuck, you're compassed or surrounded by the enemy. But today we're going to explain how that was even tested back then, back in the 1940s, and before that in the 1950s, I would say, right? Because as we are the light of the world, everybody's going to get close to us to feel warm, to feel that warmth of the Lord, because we are exactly in His image, and as such, people want to be like us, but they don't want to be us, right? Got something to say, Lord?
I just want to reiterate when it comes to these pagan holidays, right? It's easy to go back in and try to get away with some things. You know what I'm saying? Try to go back to the family members and think that you're, not doing wrong when you really are. You know, there's nothing wrong with visiting your family and all that stuff, but to interact in those things, because a lot of us, some our mothers are still alive, some of us don't have our mothers or whatever. There's nothing wrong with visiting your mom. You know what I'm saying? But they always gonna push you, always gonna try to push you to try to go back into those evil ways. And it's up to you to not get involved in that, because stay strong in this. You know what I'm saying? Stay strong in the walk. So that's all.
So as we said, Israel is an experiment for the Gentiles. You guys in the chat, I want you to look at this and tell me what you see. All right. So to begin, our community is in a sad state, getting worse every day that passes. Bad food wasn't enough. We have businesses in our community that don't even contribute to the people or help at all and want our money in the process. So you would go to the Chinese shop, right? You've been going there since you're 5 years old, since the moment your parents gave you $3, $4, $5, $10 for chicken fried rice. But one day you walk in there and you want them to patronage a t-shirt you got or a product you're making by spending $5. They say no, right? They're not gonna help you. They're not gonna support your cause. They're not gonna support you at all.
Mm-hmm.
But when you came in to try to sell them something, you came in at 18. So for 17 years or 12 years, you've been going in there and you've been giving them money. Giving them money to eat. But for once, you just ask them to spend $20 on a shirt. They don't want to do that. And y'all don't know how deep this goes, how wicked it is, right? You're gonna see. Can you go to Haggai chapter 1, verse 1 to verse 8, Lord?
Count out of one. It's the book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
In the second year of Darius the king, in the 6th month, in the first day of the month,
Mm-hmm.
came the word of the Lord by Haggai, the prophet, unto Zerubbabel,
Mm-hmm.
the son of
Shealtiel.
Shealtiel, governor of Judah,
Mm-hmm.
and to Joshua, the son of Hosadak, the high priest, saying,
Okay, so from here, during the Persian captivity, right? Darius is the Persian king, right? So Haggai came unto Zerubbabel, right? Zerubbabel was the governor of Judah, right? And Haggai came unto Joshua, which is the high priest, and told him what? Keep going.
Thus speaketh to Elohim of hosts, saying, this people say, the time is not come, the time that the Lord's house should be built.
Okay, keep going.
Then came the word of the Lord by Haggai, the prophet, saying, is it time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses, and this house lie waste?
Meaning, how can you go home when the house of the Lord is not even built? How can you feel safe to go home and nothing's going to happen when the house of the Lord, for the Lord to dwell in, is not built? How can you do that? That makes no sense. Keep going.
Now, therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways.
Mm-hmm.
Ye have sown much and bring in little.
Mm-hmm.
Ye eat, but ye have not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye
Keep going.
clothe you,
Mm-hmm.
but there is none warm.
Mm-hmm.
And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes.
Meaning, because the Lord is not amongst us, right? Everything we do, whether it be small, because back then when we did something that was small, it would have great magnitude to sustain us. But now we in a space of time where you work hard, you work 40, 60, 80 hours a week. And it's not enough for everything that you have because the Lord is not amongst us. You work so hard for everything you got, but it's never enough. It's never enough. It's never enough. It's never because we didn't build the house of the Lord yet. We just go to work and we go home. Go to work and we go home. We're in a rat maze. We're in a rat maze. Go ahead.
So, like, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
And you see that happening all the time with our people because we want to, I guess, fulfill something that we never had before. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're trying to accomplish something, and then it's not enough. I want more. I need more. You seeing that with P. Diddy, how he messed over all the people that supposedly loved that man. And he messed them over because guess what? It come up with greed. It's come with greed. So you take on that same
Characteristics.
characteristic as these heathens. That greed spirit. So that's all I want to say out of one.
Keep going. Verse 7.
Verse 7. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Woo-hoo. Go up to the mountain and bring wood and build the house, and I will take pleasure in it. and I will be glorified, saith the Lord.
So the Most High is saying, yo, y'all go out in and out of your houses, living paycheck to check, paycheck. Yes, Sister 1-1. Living paycheck to paycheck. And the house of the Lord is not built. And you're having some of our people having a time in their life, not realizing that they're in a rat maze and they think that there's no other way. Which is why the Most High said, what? Read verse 8 again.
Go up to the mountain
Mm-hmm.
and bring wood.
See that? So go out in the wilderness and bring wood. Go ahead.
And build a house, and I will take pleasure in it, and I will be glorified, saith the Lord.
Saith the Lord. Now, if we do that, the Most High will be amongst us, and then we're going to flourish more than we need.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, we're going to show you that when we are glorified in the Lord and we built the house of the Lord, we don't live paycheck to paycheck. We don't live and try to finagle, go to work and find a job to pay enough, and so you don't have to pay for copay with your benefits and all that. Everybody's fighting now. It's not even a fight for a paycheck now. It's a fight for benefits. How many benefits I could get? But these other nations, they have massive benefits, right? I'm gonna show you. With Moab, right? Look.
Really important, Asian Americans were redlined from opening businesses in white neighborhoods because white people didn't want Asian Americans operating in their neighborhoods and didn't want Asian Americans profiting off of white people. But because the positionality of Asian Americans is weaponized to oppress black people, Asian Americans were being given loans to open businesses in black communities, even though black people were not able to receive loans to open businesses in their own communities. And as I've said before, as a result of this, black wealth is essentially paid out twice when it goes to Asian American businesses. Once when the individual pays for the goods or services, and then again when the Asian American business owner removes the profit from the community. Because usually people open businesses in their own communities, and this is mutually beneficial, where the business owner is making a livelihood off of providing goods and services to their community, and by being a member
of that community. So see how much money they get by being next to Israel? A boatload of money. Free money to open the business, free money to keep the business running. Then when they're satisfied and they want to get out of there, they just get up out of there. They don't need to make a fuss. Who's going to make a fuss with these black people? Who? They're going to take advantage. So as a people, like before, right? Whenever a flame whenever you start a fire in the woods, in the wilderness, people are going to come. They're going to come, stay warm. But not all these people are your people. You blame Moab for taking a grant to open a business next to Israel? No, they're not. No, they're not going to say no. They're not. They're going to take the check, open a business, and make their money and send it back home to Guangzhou. They don't care.
Okay.
And we're going to show you in the scriptures also. Can you go to Nehemiah chapter 2, start at verse 1. In the video, please, is fair use. All the videos we're going to use here in this video is fair use. Fair use. All right? Disclaimer.
Nehemiah chapter 2, starting at verse 1. And it came to pass in the month Nisan, in the 20th year of Xerxes the king, that wine was before him.
So the king of Persia, Artaxerxes, right? He had wine in front of him. Keep going, because Nehemiah was what? We're going to find out what Nehemiah was. Keep going.
And I took up the wine and gave it unto the king. Now I had not been before time sad in his presence.
See that? So Nehemiah was a cupbearer. I mean, he poured the wine for Artaxerxes, right? So Artaxerxes is like, yo, what? Because he's never been in a sad countenance. So even back then, even the heathen could see when our people were sad. Something was wrong. Go ahead.
Wherefore the king said unto me, why is thy countenance sad,
Mm-hmm.
seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart. Then I was very sore afraid,
See that? Go ahead.
and said unto the king, let the king live forever.
Come. So he's praising the king. Yo, don't worry, it's not about you. I'm not trying to kill you. Go ahead.
Why should not my countenance be sad,
Mm-hmm.
when the city, the place of my father's sepulchre, lieth waste,
Go ahead.
and the gates thereof are consumed with fire?
He's saying, yo, I have to be sad. My homeland is destroyed. So it looks like a graveyard over there. Like, yo, even the front, even the gates in front of it are burned. Like, I have nothing. Go ahead.
Then the king said unto me, for what dost thou make requests?
So Artaxerxes is saying, yo, the Most High put the spirit on him. He said, yo, I'm going to give you something. What you want? Because he's in a good mood. Go ahead.
So I prayed to the Alhaim of heaven,
Mm-hmm.
and I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldest send me unto Judah,
Mm-hmm.
unto the city of my father's sepulchre,
Mm-hmm.
that I may build it. And the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him, for how long shall thy journey be?
Mm-hmm.
And when wilt thou return?
So the Most High put it on his spirit to allow him to go and rebuild. Go ahead.
So it pleased the king to send me, and I sent him a time.
Go ahead.
Moreover, I said unto the king, if it please the king, let the letters be given me to the governors beyond the river,
Mm-hmm.
that they may convey me over till I come into Judah.
See that? So he's saying, yo, look, saying to the king to give him letters because he knew the Most High put it on the spirit of wisdom onto Nehemiah. I can't go out there with no letters because they're going to ask me for paperwork, which is why the so-called white man, everything is done with paperwork. My parents used to tell me, oh, keep your papers, keep your papers. I never understood why.
Mm-hmm.
But now you understand, even our parents, unbeknownst to us, they told us, listen, man, keep your paperwork. You never know when you might need it. You never know when you might need it to defend you. Keep going. Verse 8.
Count another one. Verse 8. And a letter unto Asaph, the keeper of the king's force,
Mm-hmm.
that he may give me timber to make beams.
See that? So he had to have a letter to go get timber for a certain man. When you have that paper, you ain't getting no timber. You ain't getting no lumber. Yo, for today's vernacular, basically he's getting a grant from the government to go to Home Depot and Lowe's to get what he wants. He needed that paper. Without that paper, he can't go to Home Depot, can't go to Lowe's, pick up lumber, to pick up cement, pick up everything he needed. Go ahead.
I like the way you made that analogy so people can understand.
Understand?
There's nothing new under the sun.
Oh,
Nothing new. Okay.
go ahead.
Verse 8. And a letter unto Asaph, the keeper of the king's force, that he may give me timber to make beams
Mm-hmm.
for the gates of the palace, which appertain to the house, and for the wall of the city, and for the house that I shall enter into.
Mm-hmm.
And the king granted me. according to the good hand of my power upon me.
See that? Most High granted Nehemiah everything he needed, right? Let's keep going. But now he had the letter, got the stuff. He went to Home Depot. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do your thing. Most High say, okay, Sister Wana, Sister Brother Nazar, Sister Beverly, here's the paperwork. Sister Kanai, here's the paperwork. Brothers, now what? Here's the paperwork. Go to Home Depot, man. Do your thing. Yo, get the lumber, get the cement, get everything you need, right? Now let's see what happens when the heathen come around. Let's see what happens. Give me verse 17.
Can I just say this one thing? I
Go
want
ahead.
y'all to remember that the Most High blessed him. And don't forget how the Most High blessed that man. All right, I just want to put that there because I got something to bring out after my brother Yadiah finishes up here. Verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Then said I unto them, ye see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lieth waste, and the gates thereof are burned with fire.
Mm-hmm.
Come and let us build up the wall of Jerusalem, that we be no more a reproach.
See that? Go ahead.
Then I told them of the hand of my power, which was good upon me, as also the king's words that he had spoken unto me. And they said, let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hands for this good work.
Mm-hmm.
But when Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, and Geshem the Arabian heard it, they laughed us to scorn and despised us and said, what is this thing that ye do? Will ye rebel against the king?
See that? Now, if keep going.
Then answered I them and said unto them, the power of heaven, he will prosper us. Therefore, we, his servants, will arise and build. But ye have no portion, nor right, nor memorial in Jerusalem.
See that? We're not supposed to allow these people among us, right? You don't care. Let them be outside of us. But even on the outside, just like when Moses went up to Mount Sinai, we were outside of the perimeter that the Most High decreed. They are outside of us. They have to be at least 3 feet or more. Stay away. And throughout the book of Nehemiah, they were going to come and try to mess with us, right? First, they come to mess with us. Then when we have it built, they come and try to say, yo, let's sell some of this, some of that. They come on the Sabbath. They're trying to jam us up.
Okay.
They come on the Sabbath on purpose. You have 6 days, but instead of coming on those days, they come on Sabbath. Yeah, condoms are. They come in, they come to hate on the sidelines. All the time. Like, why they coming over here for? Don't you have your own kingdom? Some Balat, why are you over here? Right?
Okay.
Gershom, what? The Arabian, why are you over here? Why you over here bothering brothers? Don't you have your own kingdom you can sell to? Why are you coming here? That's because we are never ending market. We have the power source of the Lord, the love of the Lord. This is where our people are even more fertile than the Fertile Crescent. We produce more than any other nation, right? But they will not stop and come around us. You get Nehemiah chapter 10, verse 28.
Lucky. Let me get it in here. It's the book of Nehemiah, chapter 10, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the people, the priests, the Levites, the porters, the singers, the Nethinims, and all they that had separated themselves from the people of the lands unto the law of God, their wives, their sons, and their daughters, every one having knowledge and having understanding.
Go ahead.
They clave to their brethren, their nobles, and entered into a curse and into a oath to walk in God's law, which was given by Moses, the servant of God, and to observe and do all the commandments of the Elohim, our power, and his judgments and his statutes.
So our people, we're like, nah, we're not gonna rock with y'all. We're gonna rock with our people. We're gonna take on the law. We're gonna take the curse of the law, right? And we're gonna do what the Most High say. Keep going.
And that we would not give our daughters unto the people of the land, nor take their daughters for our sons.
So, yo, that means that there was going around our people, man, back in Jerusalem. They was messing around with us, going around with us, just coming to Jerusalem, right? And just trying to get brothers to get enticed by their women. And the men of other nations were trying to entice our women.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
If the people of the land bring ware of any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath.
See that? He said, no, yo, don't let them buy stuff on the Sabbath. We're not gonna buy stuff on Sabbath. Tell them we're not buying stuff. On what? Keep going.
Or on the holy day.
Keep going.
And that we would leave the 7th year and the exaction of every debt.
Because it's talking about the law. Because in the law, the 7th year, meaning the year of the Jubilee, it's a wrap. There's no crops. There's no crops, there's no corn, there's nothing. You're not supposed to be around here. And even if like I have a debt towards you as a heathen, that's wiped away. You can't come to me to claim that debt.
7 years, the rest year, right?
Yeah, 7 years. That means that, yo, whether it be $1,000 or 1 penny, you can't come and see me. That was in the law. It's in the law. That's what he's talking about. And they were still coming around, right? Now go to Nehemiah 13, verse 15.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 13, verse 15. In those days saw I in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath.
That was dudes breaking the law on the Sabbath. Keep going.
And bringing in sheaves and ladding asses, as also wine, grapes, figs, and all manner of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day.
Brothers and sisters was breaking law. They was going in and out. On that day, the gates are supposed to be closed. Nobody's supposed to come in to do business. Keep going.
God. And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals.
Sold victuals. Keep going.
There dwelt men of Tyre, also therein, which brought fish and all manner of ware, and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah and Jerusalem in Jerusalem.
Keep going.
Then I contended with the nobles of Judah and said unto them, what evil thing is this that ye do? Profane the Sabbath day?
And keep in mind, Tyre, right? Tyre was an island. I mean, you had to grab a boat to cross to get to Tyre. It's only when Alexander later on he came about, he wanted to siege Tyre, right? So he constructed a bridge a bridge between Tyre and the mainland. And that's how he attacked Tyre and sacked it. And that's how, even to this day, you read about Tyre, and you'll find out that Alexander built that bridge. Keep going.
Did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? Yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath.
Profaning the Sabbath. Keep going.
And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that they should not be open till after the Sabbath.
After the Sabbath. So he told the people at the gate, yo, when it's Friday afternoon, so-called Friday afternoon, and the sun is about to set, once the sun is set, you close those gates. Nobody's supposed to come in to sell stuff or break the Sabbath or profane the Sabbath. Keep going.
And some of my servants set I at the gates, that there should no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day.
Sabbath day, no burden. That means that I don't care if it's a sack of grain or whatever it is, you ain't coming in. Make sure you come in before the sun sets. Your body, your mind has to be in tune with nature to know when the sun is about to set and calculate your day accordingly. Don't come in here trying to say, oh, I was late. Nah, I don't want to hear that. That's how rugged our ancestors were. And he has good reason. Read the last verse, verse 20.
So the merchants and the sellers, all kind of ware, lodged without Jerusalem once or twice.
Once or twice. That means that you had people, businesses that would be doubled. Meaning you had two liquor stores, two fast food joints on the same corner, the same spot. Like, yo, they didn't care. They're like, yo, we're gonna make money, regardless. I don't care. You got your liquor shop, I got my liquor shop. We're all gonna make money. This is Israel. They got money all the time. We're gonna take it from them. By any means. But this is what, go to verse 21 and 22. This is what Nehemiah said.
Verse 21.
Verse 21 and 22. Nehemiah 13.
God. Then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you.
Wait a minute. This not you can't tell me that's not Jacob. That's Jake, bro. That's Jake. I'm gonna lay hands on you, brother. Yo, don't be coming around here. You know what I'm saying?
Do it again.
Do it again. See what happens.
See what happens.
See what happens. Go ahead.
If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you. From that time forth came they no more on the Sabbath. They were shook.
They were shook. Like, no more on the Sabbath. They ain't coming no more. Like, dang, this dude's a hard body. This dude's a hard body, bro. Like, he did not play. Right?
God.
Look at this, right? Now, I want people to understand, we was conquerors, even without violence. We was the epitome of wisdom. Because wisdom crieth without, right? We don't need to yell to get our point across, because the Most High gave us a wisdom that is beyond any nation that upon the face of this earth. And as such, we don't need much to get the job done, as long as we are in the spirit of the Most High, right? Give me Joshua chapter 6, verse 11 to 17.
Con, that's the book of Joshua, chapter 6, verse 11. Okay, so like I was trying to see something. But anyway, 6 verse 11. So the ark of the Lord compassed the city, going about it once, and they came into the camp and lodged in the camp. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord. And 7 priests bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord went on continually,
Continually.
and
Uh-huh.
and blew with the trumpets.
Mm-hmm.
And the armed men went before them, but the reward came after the ark of the Lord, the
Mm-hmm.
priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And the second day they compassed the city once and returned into the camp. So they did 6 days. And it came to pass on the 7th day
Mm-hmm.
that they rose early about the dawning of the day
Mm-hmm.
and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times. Only
Mm-hmm.
on the day they compassed the city 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass
Yeah.
at the 7th time,
Mm-hmm.
when the priest blew with the trumpets,
Mm-hmm.
Joshua said unto the people, shout,
Mm-hmm.
for the Elohim have given you the city,
Giving you the city. Keep going.
and the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein, to the Lord.
To the Lord. Go ahead.
Only Rahab, the harlot, shall live.
Because she helped him. She helped them. That's why she spared her own life by helping them, right? So just by walking around the city of Jericho, we conquered it. Everybody in that city except for Rahab gave up the ghost. Everybody died in that city, right?
Mhm.
Now let's see. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 1 to verse 3.
And Rahab, she's a harlot,
Yeah,
and she was blessed. I mean, she was given a
saved.
blessing.
He was saved. He was a blessing.
Deuteronomy 2,
Verse 1 and to verse 3.
it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 2. Sorry for me to see that on screen. Verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then we turned and took our journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea. And the Elohim spake unto me, and we compassed Mount Seir many days.
Yeah.
And the Lord spake unto me, saying, Ye have compassed this mountain long enough. Turn you northward.
See that? Wait a minute. We could when we come past the city, what happens? We destroy that place, right? So here, the Most High said, "Yo, He gave us an order to come past the city, the Mount Seir, many times,
Mm.
many times." And at some point, He said, "Okay, you can pass this mountain long enough. Turn you northward." There's nothing the Most High does without good reason. If He had told us to come past that city, that means that you're supposed to have our foot upon their necks from the beginning until the end.
Mhm.
But because we disobeyed the Most High, that power upon their necks, that boot upon their necks that we walked around to compass has been lifted. And now we're paying for our crime by allowing these people to reign over us.
Fine.
It is
Can I,
important.
can I bring something out? I don't want right quick. Lucky. I want to go to Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter. I want to go down to the 11th verse. What you just mentioned is that how we always will be successful. We'll take everything the Most High give us, and then the next thing you know, we mess up, right? And then He takes everything away from us because we start disobeying the Most High. Deuteronomy 8 and 11, and it reads, Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God, in not keeping His commandments and His judgments and His statutes, which I command thee this day. Every time they they went off, the Most High punish them, period, because they did not obey. All you have to do is obey, and He's gonna do this for you. Lest when thou hast eaten and art full, when you full, right? You start. It's just like today. People get something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they become full. They get all the things that they want. The Most High give them everything, right? I'm gonna keep reading though. And has built goodly houses and dwelt therein. You got these nice houses and everything is beautiful, right? And when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all thou hast is multiplied, then thy heart be lifted up, and thou forget the Lord thy God, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. This happens every time. This happens today. To this day, this happens. You don't give the credit to the Most High, that He's the one that does these things for you.
Huh.
You forget Him. And that's what He's explaining right now. You know, we always go back into that. Instead of praising the Most High, I said thank you. Even in the bad, you say thank you, because He's paying attention to you. You know? But this is what we do every time. When you successful, you got everything that you want. You know? So I just want to bring that out because you brought that point out. So I just wanted to add that in there.
Good. Now, this is why the title of the class was this experiment for the Gentiles, right? Because technically, when you look at it, it feels like we are an experiment. Because these people put us in a situation where you are being pressured and pushed and pulled at the same time in many directions to get what they want. Right? Because in the 1940s, Robert Tyrone, I'm not sure of his name. He did a study on rats, right? And we have a video to explain it, but I want y'all to see the correlation between that experiment and our people, and how they treat our people and how they behave with our people, and how deep this goes, and how wicked they are. And it's purposeful, and is really something that they plan with detail. But the Most High has us. All we have to do is keep the commandments and be on this side. But we don't want to do that. A lot of people don't realize how Esau knows who he is, and he knows who we are. And he puts us in a condition where we are downtrodden, beaten down, in jail, and just waiting on us to commit a crime to put us in there to boost up their stock value, right?
And look how this correlates with us today. I mean, just look at it. Look and see how it correlates with us today.
Tyrone Mays rat experiment. Y'all need to look that up. It's called the Tyrone's Mays rat experiment. It went down in 1940. He ended up getting it from another psychiatrist in 1840. It's called the Tyrone Mays rat experiment. And what they did was they took a few hundred rats, right? And they splitted them and they divided them. And what they did was they created an environment for both of these rats to live in. In one subject, they took about 100 rats and they put it in an environment where it had clean water. They put it in an environment where it had a right amount of space for the rats can, get, basically if they wanted to be by themselves, they could. They made sure that it was good food in there that didn't have any type of poisons put inside the foods. They even gave them space to breathe, to go upstairs, downstairs. They just gave them this abundant environment, right? They put these rats in there. Mind you, these the same rats with the same genetical molecular structure, which is nothing different. They both came from the same mama, the same daddy, the same family tree, right? So they took these rats, they put one in a good environment, then they put the other 100 rats in a bad environment where they didn't get water. If they did get water, the water actually had acids in it. They made sure they didn't give them the regular food. I think they gave them like cat food or something like that with a bunch of pellets that was inside of them, right? They stuck them on top of each other and they made sure that the space was very, very small. They never cleaned any poop out of the maze. They never cleaned they piss out of the maze, and they left them in there. They left them in there for 4 months, and they watched how their behavior changed. They went back and they got the actual rats that came from the good environment, and they put them in the maze. They ended up going through the maze very, very fast. Then they ended up going to get the rats that they put in the bad environment and put them in the maze, and they didn't know how to even make it through the first section of the maze. So he like, maybe this is a coincidence. So he did it. So what he did was he switched the rats. He took the rats that was smart, that made it through the maze, that was in the good environment, and he put them in the bad environment. Then he took the rats that was in the bad environment, that was dummies that couldn't make it through the maze at all, and he put them in the good environment. He waited 4 months. Then he took them back out. The same rats that was good and smart, that was in the good environment, that he put in the bad environment, now they couldn't make it through the maze. The same rats that was in the bad environments, that was dummies that couldn't make it through the maze, he put them in a good environment. Now they making it through the maze and making it through life just fine. So he said, damn, it ain't the genetics. It ain't who these people is as individuals. It's the community. It's the environment that you put these biological entities in that changes the way they interact with their environment and with themselves. Did you know he did another 6-month experiment on the same rats that he left in the bad environment? Guess what they started doing? Killing each other. Some of the male rats started humping other male rats, homosexuality. Look, the other rats that was at the bottom that didn't have the food, these niggas went upstairs to the other rats and started robbing them for food and water. I said, damn, this sound like your typical project. Don't this sound like the PJs? This is a real rat experiment. So it made me start questioning. I had to sit back and really rub my chin.
They turned into robbing rats?
They turned into robbing, homosexual.
What else are you gonna do?
Rats.
It's a survival. It's a survival mechanism at this point.
Now check this out though, goddess. It was a selective group of female rats, and I really want y'all to look this up when y'all get home today. Watch this. It will fuck your mind up. The female rats, they started pampering themselves. They used to let their children just do what the fuck ever. They started pampering themselves. All they was worried about.
The hood rats. Which one of these?
See, these was the hood rats. Okay, the hood rats, right? Exactly. So the hood rats. I'm gonna quote that. The hood rats. All they did was pamper themselves. The only thing that they worried about was their fur. They worried about their weight. They didn't worry about their children anymore. They weren't worried about the mama papa rat. The only thing that they focused on was their actual cells. And then the father rat started going to other different parts of the actual rat experiment cage and started like bullying on the younger children. It was crazy, man. Look, it gets so deep when you really start watching it. It even rapists started happening. Rape. With the older male rats in the community started raping the younger males and the younger female rats. Same thing that happens in the ghetto where a young girl will get touched on by their uncle, or a young male will get touched on by their uncle or their auntie. This happens. So it's like, damn, is this rat experiment that's going on in Tyrone, rat maze experiments, the same shit that's going on with us in these communities? And then you have to ask yourself, in the projects. Right. And who built these communities? We didn't build these communities. We ain't put the liquor stores in these communities. We ain't put dope in here. You got something called Russian AK-47s. Niggas ain't never been to Russia. You got Japanese SKs. We ain't never been to Japan. We got grenades that come from, we got all these different things in the community of America that's outside of America when niggas ain't never left the block. How was they getting there? This shit was set up. So once I realized, like, damn, me and my people is in a rat maze. This is a project. We are being psychologically experimented on. That's when I said, okay, this is my motivation. It's time to break the psychological change of my people. Yep. So once I fully got myself up out of it, my whole mission is I'm going to die for this shit. Everybody that I come in contact with is going to hear this message. And my message is, wake the fuck up, Black America.
That says it all, right?
Says it all.
That says it all.
Can I get a famous scripture right quick?
Go ahead.
Psalms 83, verse I start at 2. It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Flat out.
Flat out.
That's
So
what they do. They've been plotting.
plotting and plotting and plotting, and all they do is find ways to get you off the mark.
Mm-hmm.
Like, their whole purpose is to get you off the mark, and it's like, dang. All right, you wanna do that? Fine, right?
But what the brothers just say, wake up, Black America. You just can't say dang. We gotta change the course.
Change the
You know
course.
what I'm saying?
I mean, we are basically plowing the land for these heathens. Then they claim we plow the land for them in a circle and in a maze that we can't even get out of. And at the same time, while we're living there, they claim, oh, you have to go. They raise prices, the rent, everything. So you move out and they gentrify the whole area, right?
Trap.
You're trapped. So either you stay in Section 8 housing or someplace in the ghettos, in the slums, in the poor communities, the favelas, right? All across the world, or you stay where you at. But like we read before in Deuteronomy chapter 2 and in the book of Joshua, everywhere we compassed with the Lord, or we surrounded, or we went around 7 times, we conquered that place. But for 400 years we've been in America, we have walked nearly everywhere on this land. We're supposed to be conquering this land. If you think about it, because if we walking around working and doing our thing, and we was with the Lord, by now we would have conquered this land, and this land would have been ours. Because we did it in Jericho, we did it when we came out of the Red Sea. We compassed Mount Seir. We should conquer this land. We should own this land. But the problem is, our eyes are not on the prize. We are our minds. Everybody's mind is somewhere else. They want to make money. They worry about their pocket. Go ahead, Lord.
It's like it. Just our stature alone, as black men, that scares these other nations, man. That scares these heathens. That's why they move out the way when you walk by them. It's not because of really what you see on TV, it's just because the way I'm telling you, I was in Germany. All they talked about is how big Black Americans are, how big they are, how powerful they look. That's all they talk about. How they walk, how confident they are. That scares these nations, man. They don't know nothing about confidence. We are a confident people, man, in every way. That's why women go around shaking their head. Shut up. Don't talk to me. I mean, listen, our men, we are powerful. We can change the game if we just take hold. You know? We don't understand what these people are seeing. They're seeing a powerful people. The Most High made us that way. Bottom line. So that's all I want to say. I don't want.
Can you get Luke 9:62?
Got it. The book of Luke. Like I went too far. The book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 62. I can't see that on the screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
And Yahushua said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High.
We've been plowing this land for many years, doing with the wrong kind of work, going after money every day. I mean, our footprints are all over this place, but we keep looking backwards, or what we lost, or what we could gain. Or nah, we're supposed to go in a straight line and plow this land in a straight line and looking forward. But we still stuck on what Lot's wife was stuck on when they was leaving Sodom and Gomorrah and the other 3 cities that were destroyed. Slowly, we're becoming pillars of salt, being destroyed by our own greed or desire to be in this nation, in Babylon. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Can you get me Galatians 6:1, verse 5?
Let me see if I can. I can't. Lock you. Sorry, I don't want
No problem.
to try to get it. It's sticking. Book of Galatians. Come on. Chapter 6, verse 1. Things that sticking. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted.
Be tempted. Go ahead.
Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ.
Don't be like them rats in that rat experiment, man. We're trying to kill each other for food and for water, all that stuff. We are better than that, as the book of Matthew says in verse 23. We are better than that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like Most High made garments for Solomon. Most High made garments for Israel, for the high priests. Can you imagine how much time that took? How much dedication that took? Most High chose the best hands for the best job. That's Israel. Nobody else. Keep going.
Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself.
He deceived himself. Keep going.
But let every man prove his own work.
We did it again.
But let every man prove his own work.
Keep going.
And then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone,
By growing,
and not in another.
And not in another, because you are doing your own work, growing your own crops in your own body, which is the temple of the Lord, which is your sacrifice unto the Lord to doing this work. Keep going.
For every man shall bear his own burden.
Shall bear his own burden. All right.
Let him that is taught in the word of communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things.
All good things. Now get me Philippians chapter 3, verse 1 to verse 16.
Paper sticking, it's a new Bible. Philippians
3, verse 1 to 16.
Philippians 3, verse 1. Finally, my brethren, rejoice in the Lord. To write the same things to you, to me indeed is not grievous, but for you it is safe. Beware of dogs, beware of evil workers, beware of the concision. For we are the circumcision, which worship God in the spirit and rejoice in Christ Jesus, and have no confidence in the flesh.
No confidence in the flesh. Go ahead.
Though I might also have confidence in the flesh. If any other man thinketh that he hath whereof he might trust in the flesh, I more circumcised the 8th day of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin. All right.
Yeah.
And Hebrew of Hebrews, as touching the law of Pharisee, concerning zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteousness which is in the law, blameless.
Blame what?
Blameless.
Blameless. You ain't done nothing that you could be pointed towards. That'd be like, that's off. Go ahead.
God. But what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Christ. Yea, doubtless. And I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Christ Jesus, my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things,
Mhm.
and do count them but dung, that I might win a Mashiach, Yahweh
Yeah.
Shah.
So everything that you're gonna lose is like, it's nothing compared to what you gain. You're gonna gain. It's doo doo. It's nothing. Because when you gain Yahweh Shai, you gain everything that you need to make it. You ain't in no maze no more. You ain't in the matrix no more. You ain't plugged in. You outside that world. Granted, we gotta work, but you ain't not in the rat maze no more. You know what the mark is. You know what the final goal is. And that's what it is. That's all I got, Lord.
Kind of the one. I think was an excellent breakdown. I mean, I just think our people also, what we have to understand is that the only hope of the black community is coming back to these laws, statutes, commandments, man. That's the only hope. Because that's how we'll understand that it's going to take an agreement, right?
Mm-hmm.
An agreement for us to come together again. And we got to stand on that agreement. We can't, move away, come into the agreement, and then move away from the agreement again. That in and out spirit, you can't do that. We got to stand on that agreement. I'm going to not do this with my brother. I'm not going to leave this faith. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to leave it. I'm going to trust in it. It's the only way we're going to win if we just stay here. The only way.
And
so that's all I got to say. I don't want.
And it's nobody said this walk is going to be easy, but at least scriptures tell you that there's nothing that the Most High is going to give you, or burden that He's going to give you that's going to be heavier than you can bear. So He knows what you can take. All you got to do is be prepared, because you will be tempted, you will be attacked, and you will be tempted to go back into the rat maze, and with promises of wealth and all the great things that you desire. But as we read in Philippians, all those things are done. Focus on the path, focus on the final goal. Because at the end of the day, you're going to climb this mountain. When you reach the top of that mountain, and we reach it, our people, our children, whoever reached there by the praises and grace of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach and the Most High, we're going to be dirty. We might even be wearing sackcloth and ash upon our heads. Some of us might even have cloth that is shredded. We're dirty, but you made it. You made it.
Right.
You made it. Everything is going to be beautiful except you. And that's when Yahweh Shah is going to give you a palm in your hand and new garments, and you're going to look great, man. You're going to be stunting in the kingdom. Come on now.
God. Can I read this right quick in Romans 8 before we leave? Romans 8, verse 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? Now, children, they get murdered, things like that, or something happens where something bad really happens, as in a killing or a murder or something like that. Will you remove yourself from the Most High? This is what it's asking. As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of the Most High, which is in Christ Jesus our power. Like that. So that's all I want to say. I don't want.
Huh. With that, don't get
That
caught up in the maze, man. Don't get caught up in the maze. Don't forget. Keep keep your eyes single, as the scriptures say. Because when you have your two eyes open, and it's talking about not your two eyes physical, but your mind's eye. Keep your mind's eye on the mark.
Mm-hmm.
They could tempt you with all those things, but as soon as your mind is focused on one thing, on that one thing, you won't deviate from it. All right. With that, love y'all. Hope y'all to see y'all next week. And I hope blessings to all people that are watching. Keep the faith, keep the mindset, keep the will, and keep that fire.
That's right.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom, family.